If you have an email list, once you have the website, just send in an email about your event, that it's coming up and how
And
to
that
sign up.
typically would be the early bird. Like I would try and get to those people early. They're already warm, right? So especially the ones who are in that warm list who've been following you recently, buying, they're active, that active list, and giving them the early bird opportunity. Like before I release this to everybody else, I wanted to give you the opportunity to get your ticket first and offer them like a best ever price point. Like it's going to be the lowest price guaranteed. You can't go back on that. I think it's out of integrity. So you're going to pick a price point you know you can live with. It's the lowest price guaranteed for that event for that year, and give them a short window to book it. What do you think? Like, I mean, usually we say 2 or 3 weeks, like a short window to
There
claim
needs
their
to be a
ticket.
deadline. There needs to be a deadline though, because the deadline helps with the call to action. It helps with them to actually do it.
And then you have to live by that deadline too. I do not think this is a deadline to extend because you'll train them in the future to not live by the deadline. So set the deadline, set the lowest ever price point, get it out there, let them claim their early bird ticket, and use that as a starting point for getting people registered for your live event.
And it's not uncommon within our market anyway to see people have a timeline-based pricing model.
Yeah,
meaning,
absolutely.
you know, you have your early bird tickets, then you have your advanced ticket pricing, then you have your, you know, regular ticket pricing, and it gradually goes up. Which actually leads to, you know, you want to publish what your total price point is going to be, like your top end price, and then make sure that people are aware of that and aware of what the discount is, right? Don't just make it, this is the best price you're ever going to get. Say, this is the best price you're ever going to get. It's $1,000 off our $1,497 ticket. You're only spending $497.
And I think hidden in that tip is a really important point, which is to set a realistic price point for the full price ticket. Again, I think we have a pretty savvy market these days. There's a lot of people promoting events. And so, you know, to inflate the value of your event and say it's a $10,000 ticket, but you can get it for $197 sounds crazy and makes people not even think that this is, you know, not think that you're right in the head. So it doesn't make them especially inspired to go to your event. So, you know, really be realistic. I mean, I think I'm guessing a question we might get is, what's a typical ticket price? But I think early bird is generally kind of in that $197 to maybe $497 range on the high end, but kind of in that lower end of the spectrum. And typically a live event ticket these days is in that $1497 to maybe on the high end $2997, but that's really on the high end. So I think you really want to be realistic. Of course, you're delivering a lot more value than the numbers I just gave you. Like it probably is worth $10,000 or more.
Oh, for
but
sure.
You have to think about realistic ticket prices for what the market will bear and what's common in your marketplace. It's just like an immersion experience where you have a lot of cost involved in the event. That might be a $5,000 or $10,000 ticket price, but again, that's a different model usually for filling it too.
Well, and that's also one of the things that we talked about early on, where it's, you know, all of these strategies are really meant for events of, I'm saying at a minimum 25 people.
Yeah.
If you're selling less than 25 people,
experience.
it's probably in the immersion experience kind of realm, or just a smaller mastermind style of live event.